Small gas, compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot you. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not in sign of my conglomerate wreck like King Konga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring trauma. Stay focused on things that bring karma. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect. Pay homage, I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West will put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designers charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had friends on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause the niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a park, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Shalom Lord and Christ. We're going to kick it off now. We're going to get started. Okay, we're going to clap it up. As customary, we do, we clap it up. We're going to clap it up. We're going to get started. We can say, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema, Alatam by Hashem, Yahweh Shai to the sisters. And okay, we're back. We had a couple of classes. We had to run classes because we had a little technical difficulties. And I think one of my classes I wasn't even able to run. So Lakia for that. If you was looking for it, so Lakia. But tonight we're gonna get into some of the things. Our topic is gonna be on patience. Be patient. Be patient. And tell the patient topic about. Okay. So, but before that, we're gonna do as we normally do. We're gonna go through some of the current events and some of the encouraging events that we need to be thinking about. Encouraging you to get the best of the life, get the best of what you're doing, you know. For right now, in the Bahamas, we coming out of the summer season into the winter season. At the end of August, we go into our winter season, meaning that we should be in the process of sourcing and getting our soils together to plant our vegetable crops. Vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce, tomatoes, all those things planted in the winter season for us here. Meaning because the climate is cooler, less insect, cooler climates. Okay, that's basically the main thing why we plant during the season now. And then, of course, we have some crops we need a certain amount of evening cool temperature to cause things to happen. All right, that's a little bit of the science. But you need cool evening temperatures. That's why everything don't grow well in the summer, because some things you need to have cool temperatures for it to form properly. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is if you're in the Bahamas or in this part of the world, watch out for the heat. This heat is serious. It's not stopping. It is not stopping. The heat is alive. So weather's are hot. You out there? Dehydrate. Salakia. Hydrate. Hydrate. All right. Hydrate even before you can start hydrating. As we teach as a safety professional, we teach you to start drinking liquids even the night before. So hydrate your body. Put more liquids in your body. And during the hot days, hydrate yourself also. Drink liquids. Maybe not only water. Some people drink like electrolytes, some sort of electrolytes, some sort of like the Gatorades and things like that. Those are added electrolytes, the salts in them. So you want to do that if you're outdoors. And also you want to make sure that you would take frequent breaks if necessary. Take frequent breaks. Now, for y'all on the job, I'm not telling you that to go tell your boss, say, so lucky is the safety professional in the Bahamas say we have to take frequent breaks. So every half hour we need to take a break. That's not what I'm saying, okay? But then you need to be careful that you're not out in the sun for very long periods of time. If you feel any changes in your body, then you must take a break. And there should be scheduled break times wherever you work in any event. Okay, so like I say, planning, get ready for that. The heat, look out for that. Okay, that's what's happening. Yeah. So, all right, now let's get into some of our local current events. Traffic fatality. Okay, the police believes that speed may have been a factor. I always remind if you watch this live, please remember your vehicles only could do a certain amount of speed on the road that you're on, and you only could manipulate the vehicles in certain fashion. Curves, corners, bumps, these things you can't be going at high speed and try to manipulate them. You can't get around the corner at high speed. You can if you overtake at high speed, there's this possibility that you could lose control of your vehicle. Maybe intoxicated, that's another thing. So, speed, you have to be careful. Control your speed, okay? Now, because this is what it's saying is speed was a factor in a traffic collision that claimed the life of a man in his mid-50s in Nassau, the nation's capital. Okay, so slow down, people. Your cars are not aircrafts. And I know when you'll start flying now, you'll be breaking some breakneck speed. You'll be having a collision in the air and all now. Because you know that'll be the next frontier is the flying cars. Yeah, that'll be the next frontier, the flying cars. Okay, so another traffic incident. According to the police, it's alleged that a 20-year-old man has been driving a cement truck. And it collided with a utility pole. The man said to have been attempting to exit the vehicle, where he came in contact with the electrical lines and sustained electrical shock to the upper part of his body. We always tell you, all right, if you involve in a vehicle that comes in contact with an electrical line, do not exit your vehicle. Do not exit your vehicle. Okay? If you're able to put the glass down and ask for help, let the power company show up before you exit your vehicle. There are some specific things you have to do if you're going to be exiting your vehicle, because what happens is if the vehicle is not energized itself, but bear in mind, let's first, if the vehicle is energized, let's just say if the electrical wire is touching the vehicle, right? And you step out of if you step out of the vehicle and you touch any part of the vehicle and the ground at the same time, what happens is you complete a circuit, because what happens is the electricity is on the vehicle, is not going into the ground because of the tires, but if you become that point that causes the electricity to jump from the vehicle to the ground, you're going to sustain an electrical shock. Okay, you may even be electrocuted. And so we always tell people, do not exit the vehicle. Wait till the proper authorities show up on the scene and they'll tell you when to exit the vehicle. So if you're in anything like that, never come with the vehicle. What we've also seen is the ground around you sometimes become electrolyzed. So what happens is the ground electrified. What happens is the ground right around the vehicle, if there's a wire touching it, it can actually electrify the ground right around the vehicle. So when you jump out, think about this. You get out the vehicle and you walk. What happens is when you put one foot down and the next foot down, what happens is the electricity flows from your foot up your body and down your next foot. Okay? And so in the event that we see where the person would have had got an electrical shock, those things could be avoided. Do not exit your vehicle. Okay? Now, police are also investigating the death of a 10-year-old female infant was brought into the hospital. So this seemed to be like the person was unrestrained. The infant was unrestrained, and the person they said they swerved to avoid colliding with another vehicle, and then the child fell on the floor. All right, so the child got seriously injured and actually died because the child was unrestrained. So when you have children in vehicles, now I can tell you this now, if you was making 35 miles per hour, the child may have not died. I don't know. You might have been in the speed limit. I don't know that either. But the thing is, number one, the child should have been restrained. That's what the car seats are for children. 10 months old? Shoot. You could imagine 10-month-old child, no kind of restraint. So what the child was doing, just sitting in the seat. The child had to sit up properly. So it's supposed to be in a little car seat, turned backward, strapping. That's the proper way to have children. If you like them. Okay. Next current event for here in the Bahamas, police are investigating the shooting of a 30-year-old man who was reportedly chased down after an armed man approached the vehicle he was sitting in, and he was unalive. Okay, listen, the things that happens in our little country, it happens wherever the Israelites find themselves. This oppression, this depression, these things happen. You have people not taking care of the young ones, right? With little due care and attention for their own life and for people around them, their lives, because we just in this. There's just so much stuff that's going on. There's just so much things that's happening that our minds are not even fixed on the most sensible things that's around us. We seem to be caught up in the craziest things. So now somebody will go and shoot a 30-year-old man. I don't even know what it was about. But yet we definitely see all these kind of things happening. Brothers warring against brothers. This is what happens when you're in a system where you're oppressed. And you've been in the system so long. Your daddy and your mommy was in the system. Your granddaddy was in the system. You've been in it so long that you even didn't know you were in the system. Or you know that you just pissed off to the highest degree every once in a while. And that's what it is. This they call this it's almost like a laboratory experiment, how they keep the 12 tribes in confinement to see how they act. Okay, so we got a boating accident also. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed the death of a Bahamian national in Haiti following a boating accident off the coast of Port-au-Prince, one of them, Port in Haiti. So we see that a boating accident in Haiti has claimed the life of a Bahamian here. Okay, let's jump from the current event locally. Let's go into the current event internationally. Okay, so the times are coming there to the end. I mean, I don't know if you're watching the time. I don't know if you read the scriptures. and all these things that's happening around the world on the earth. A lot of things as the Bible predict is happening. So when you see these things, know that the end is not right here, but it's close. We got earthquakes. We got earthquakes. What is this? This one is in Indonesia. 7.7 on the Richter scale. Yeah. So just have in your mind. And I know we are distracted with so many other things. The enemy has been able to infiltrate our minds, and whatever thing is our most worried is the thing would come up against us. So if you have a most worried thing in your life, just remember, get ready for that. Guess why? That's coming. So you should not be caught off guard. Think in your mind, what am I most afraid of? What is the most thing that I fear happening? The same thing you fear is that thing is where it will come upon you. So get ready for it. That ain't no secret. Get ready. Get ready for it, because you know what? The scripture is true and it will come. All right. Now, the brothers and cousins still fighting Ukraine. All right. They launched one of the Ukraine-Russian war. The Ukrainians launched one of its largest drone assaults on the conflict of Russia, right? Resulting in at least 6 deaths. They just, again, the Israelites don't have nothing to do with the Russians or the Ukrainians, but they just those are the Edomites. They just love to unalive people. Even they unalive themselves, their brothers, their sisters, they don't care. They just want to unalive someone, and that's what they're doing. All right. Okay, so moving along, we have strikes in Lebanon. The Israeli strike. So the Israeli, they still doing their thing, right? It's another set of Edomites. They still doing their thing. Okay, now Oman talks on the Strait of Hormuz, right? So that talk's continuing, right? So now check this out. Agent Orange, right? There's Agent Orange. So Agent Orange, code name Donald Trump. Okay, Agent Orange reportedly hid inside a catering truck before secretly being moved to Air Force One and flown out of Turkey on another military jet amidst fear of the Iran threat. So what we hear now? What we saying? We saying the big commander-in-chief of the U.S. Army thought he's gonna get unalive, so he sneak off he sneak up a one plane using the catering truck, hide, I guess, amongst the pastries, hide, and they carry him and put him on the next aircraft and sneak him out, just in case all them people would willing to die with him. They're dying by themselves. He was gonna be there with them. There was a threat, and they say there might have been an attack on the aircraft. So what? He just ease out. He just slide out of the aircraft and say, "Listen, if this go down, I ain't getting down with this today." So he slide on and he slide in the next aircraft and gone. And that doesn't really show. That really don't show that he's a good commander-in-chief. That really don't show. He should have been like how they do in the movies. Because they be the ones who take over the president. I see a movie like that before. The president take over and end up jacking up the hijackers. All right? But this guy, in maritime law, the captain leave the ship first, but there's two of them. There's the captain when he leave the ship first. That's what he did. He leave the ship first. They're supposed to do him something not nice because he left the ship first. Captains cannot leave the ship when it's sinking. Remember the time that's what happened? The captain get in the life, but they slew him. And that's what they should do with this one. You can't leave your people and run for your life. Okay, so okay, let me catch my breath. Okay, so It's another little jokey thing coming up now, right? So after we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated, pretty soon I will be declaring the Strait of Hormuz territory of the United States. You just said the wording, you know what that is. That's Agent Orange saying that. That's how that's written. That's Agent Orange. But if you didn't know that's Agent Orange, it says at the end, President Trump said. Okay, say. So, what did he say? What did he say when they confiscate the first tanker? And they came and they asked him, so what are we going to do with the tanker? You know what he said? Oh, we just can take it. We can take it, right? And then what did he say about Cuba? He said we can take that too. They can't defend themselves, we can take that. So now, what he's saying, the Strait of Hormuz, what we can do, we can take it. Slovakia, yeah, he's going to take it, okay? Agent Orange. It's not like him. He's going to take it. But anyhow, those are the current event topics. And but for us, in the truth, we must learn patience. It ain't an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. But it is a lesson that we must learn. It is something that we must perfect. Because there's no way around learning how to be patient. The only way you can be successful in learning patience is being patient. And then the only way you can know you learn the lesson of being patient is when you test it. Because until you test it, you're not happening. You can say as patient as you want. The first person say something negative to you, you probably try to unalive them because you didn't develop that patience. But we got a few scriptures we're going to go through talking about this very topic. All right. And so, let's see how we can fix this. All right, let me get my scripture on. And if there's any questions, please feel free to put your question in the chat. If you have any question, open up your mic and say Salakia, and you go ahead and ask your question. Okay, so my first scripture is going to be coming from the book of Romans. Actually, it's going to be, and our lesson that we actually talking, the topic is just be patient. Okay, so we're going to read the book of Romans chapter 12. Salakia, if I say a different one. Chapter 12 and verse 12. You know, some of us Caribbean don't speak what they call the Queen language that well. Because our language is a different language. So now we have to learn to speak the Queen's language until we get back to our own. Okay, so rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Okay, so check this out. Rejoicing in hope. You know, you hope. You're going to be hoping, looking for something to happen positive in the future. Patience in tribulation. When things are not going well, when there's a tribulation going on, that is when you must be patient. Continuing instant in prayer. So I'm just telling you that, just pray. Continuing instant in prayer. And even in your tribulation. And why do you have to be patient in your tribulation? Because the reality is this. In your tribulation, most of the time, you cannot affect the change in your situation, in your tribulation. You don't have the ability to affect any change. So this is why the scripture says you must be patient. You have to allow the Lord to find that person, that vessel, which is going to be able to bring you out as you are patient. Somebody's going to speak on your behalf. You may not even be in the room in the midst, but in your patience, the Lord is going to send someone to help you out. There's very few times you could represent yourself. You know, it's similar like in the court. You go to court, you can't even speak yourself. Who's speaking for you? The lawyer speaking for you. You can't even speak for yourself. The lawyer got to talk. You wonder why. What about the lawyer got to talk for me? Because you're not respected in there. You have to be patient. You cannot represent yourself. And you definitely learn a lesson. You can't go in the courtroom and speak. They have some strict laws in the courtroom. Okay, so be patient in your tribulation. Some people don't want to be patient in their tribulation because if things are not happening in their favor, they think they need to do something to make it happen different. A lot of times, the thing you do is create more problems, not less. Okay, so be patient in your tribulation. Okay, I want you to go to the book of Isaiah chapter 40. We'll be reading the 31st verse. Isaiah chapter 40 and 31. So, yeah, give me time to get to it. So, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They should run and not be weary. They should walk and not faint. So, this Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31 is giving you this idea. But they that wait, this is what I'm telling you, wait upon the Lord. He shall renew your strength. You know, even when you're down, when things don't seem to be going right, have the patience to believe your strength is going to be renewed according to the scripture. A lot of times people think that they need to do something. You don't need to do anything. Most situations just call for calm and sometimes exit. Calm and chill out. If the tribulation is one that is confrontational, then leave. If the tribulation is one that's sarcastic, maybe you stay, you know. But if it's danger, we just exit, you know. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. As you wait, as you weak, the Lord is going to strengthen you. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. You know, the eagle is the alpha prey bird in the sky. The eagle is a powerful bird. And this is what it's saying. If you wait, as it says in Isaiah chapter 40 and the 31st verse, you know, if you wait, the Lord shall renew your strength. They shall mount. When you wait, and that's how you're going to end up. You will end up being that they shall mount up with wings as eagles because you're waiting on the Lord. And when you renew your strength is going to be like the eagle strength. They shall run. So you're going to do things and you shall not be weary. And you shall walk and you shall not faint. So as you do things, you're going to do it. You're not going to faint by the wayside because of whatever you're doing. You're going to do it until the Lord is going to give you the strength to do what you need to do. As you read this Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31, that's what it's telling you. All right. In your patience, the topic is be patient. In your patience, the Lord is going to work on your behalf. You don't have to do things what you think you need to do. You just need to serve the Lord. Learn, follow the laws and the commandments, learn those, keep them, and he's going to fight the battle for you. Okay? So, the Lord's going to fight your battle. Definitely. You don't have to fight your own battle. Although, very, very seldom we think that that's going to be the case. We always think that the Lord taking too long, hey? Yeah, we always think the Lord, but the Lord ain't moved yet. So he must be wanting me to move. He must be wanting me to make this move. Because he ain't doing nothing yet. But no, the Lord knows better than us. The Lord knows which time to send the angel to make whatever move need to be made, whoever air need to be whispered in, whoever spirit he needs to change and the cause to do things, the Lord's going to make it happen. But if you start to do something, you're going to probably mix up the whole thing. That's the problem. So we go into Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22. We'll be reading 22 and 23. Because we want to talk about this patient thing. We want to get this whole thing in your mind. Now, this patient, this is being patient. This is not where self-defense is called for and you don't defend yourself. That's not what this is. Okay? This is where self-defense is not called for. And you are patient because you don't see the you don't see the direction to move in. You don't see the possible outcome. So you just wait. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So in this, we didn't bring out the word patient, but in this you could see the word long-suffering. In this you could see the word gentleness. In this you could see the word goodness and faith. So all of these things will be similar to you waiting. In whatever situation you find yourself in, don't be the person trying to make something happen. God don't need your help. When you need it, he can let you know. All right, you will know when you need it. In situations where things could go wrong, where things could go bad, those things you should be able to recognize. Those are the things that you just wait out. Okay, meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. So meekness and temperance, meekness, be meek and mild, and temperance, you hold your temper. Basically, that's what it's saying. That's all it's saying. And if you could hold on to them things, you could do them things, you're going to be, whatever situation you're going through, you're going to come out on the other side victorious. Because other people are not going to be patient. They're going to do stuff to make things happen. You, as a child of the Lord in UPK and in the truth, you have to learn to not try and make things happen all the time. That's the Lord's job. All right? You can't change the mind or the heart of anybody. Pray. Pray that prayer. Believe it or not, the Lord hears and answers prayers. Okay. You're going to go to another scripture. Scripture is going to be the book of James 1, 3, and 4. Should lock here. So as you go there, this is the book of James chapter 1, verse 3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So, check this out. This is what I've been saying. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith. So, when your faith is tried, patience. Remember, let's just take for instance, somebody trying to aggravate you. You must realize that you're bigger than the person who's trying to aggravate you. Somebody on the job continuing to make advancements to you. All of those things come under the same thing. They trying, knowing this, that the trying of your faith, you see, the trying of your faith, it don't always have to be something negative, It could be something positive. It could be somebody, it could be an individual saying, let's have a conversation, let's go out, let's do this. But you engage in a different situation. You have your own life going on elsewhere. You cannot be pulled into a different relationship. You need to realize that this is a trying of your faith. As your faith is tried, When your faith is tried and you don't yield, that's where patience is good in. When you are tried and you don't yield, that's where you get a better understanding, you get a better practice of how to be patient. But let patience have a perfect way. So let patience have a perfect way. When you start to learn how to be patient, let that patience, don't disrupt that patience. Let that patience, therefore, stand, and let patience have her perfect way, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. You see, if you see the patience coming, taking a little longer, and you decide to go and interject in there, then patience will not have a perfect way, because you now will be interfering with the whole process. And so, yes, patience is a real thing. And patience is something that we must develop. Not to move too quickly, because most of the time when you move, you do the wrong thing anyway, especially without guidance. You do the wrong thing. Okay, so we can jump to another scripture. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3, verse 12. Chapter 3, verse 12. And we should learn from the scriptures are here to teach us. So as we go through these, we must learn the lessons that in these scriptures to learn. The priests don't just speak off air. The priests speak as the Lord give him the understanding to utter the words that he speaks. Okay, so we just don't speak off air. We speak with the Lord put in our hearts, in our minds to say. All right. So Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12. This is the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12. Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have quarreled against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. Okay, so again, this whole thing is, even though it's not bringing out patience, it's telling you this humbleness, this meekness, this long suffering, put on therefore as the elect of God. You're the elect. If you are the elect, you have to put it on as the elect. Bowels of mercy. You have to have mercy toward men, mercy toward the brotherhood, mercy toward the sisters, mercy, right? Kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, and long suffering. What does this talk about? This talk about how to be patient, how not to jump to conclusion. And this is one of the things that we have to learn. I had a really, really bad experience some years ago. This was a really bad experience because I made a real fool of myself. Some guys were talking. I didn't hear what they were saying, but they was referring to me. And I made the mistake of accusing the brother who was defending me to these other people. I didn't know him personally. I just saw his face. You know, that brother get pissed off at me, and I don't think he ever talked to me again. Oh man, that was a mistake. But and this was the saying, put on therefore as the elect, holy beloved, bowels of mercy. So even if you see somebody talking, don't shoot off on them, because I think that's what I did. I think I exploded on this brother, and this brother gets so hurt because he was defending me. But so you have to be careful with that. So how bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, and even in long suffering. So if you don't know what's happening, listen. Don't run off at the mouth and make a mistake that you cannot walk back. Okay. And then it goes on to say, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against you, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. And so this is, and mind you, make no mistake, this is talking with fellow brothers and sisters. Why do I say that? Because the scriptures was written for Israelites by Israelites. This is not for everybody on the earth. This is how you take care of your next of kin, your brother, your sister. This is how you take care of them. Other people will take other advantage of you, of your kindness. But the Lord should deal with the Israelites to help you. All right. So that talks about being patient. Okay, so let's go to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. Galatians 6 and 9. And if we get to other the patient scriptures, I want to remind you where your help is in UPK. Once we get to these few more scriptures, I'll go on to that. So Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. Again, and to be patient, let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So be patient. Be patient. Stop being so aggressive. Be patient. Stop being so anxious. Be anxious for nothing. Be patient. Let things happen. Don't try to make it happen. Because as the Lord is making it happen on his end, if you try to make it happen on your end, you could mix up what he's doing. So be patient on your own. Yeah, I know nobody wants to wait. We're in the microwave generation. Everybody wants it yesterday, right now, 2 minutes. And you put the microwave on 3 minutes, and after the minute you trying to open the door. All right, you just want to do quickly. All right, so let's jump over the book of Romans. We're going to be reading the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 9. The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 9. Salakia. No, the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 25. I'll wait till you get to that. The book of Romans, chapter 8 and 25. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 25. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Patient. You hoping for the things you don't see. You hoping that things work out the way the Lord say. You hoping that when it works out just the way the Lord wanted to work out, that your favor is going to be in there also. So, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. So, you're hoping for the things you don't see. But in that, patiently waiting on it. Because you know you don't see it, but you know you need it. And you pray for it. And after you then pray for it, it's on the way. It's on the way. So you don't disrupt the flow of being on the way. Okay, so we jump to another scripture. Ephesians chapter 4. And verse 2. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 2. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 2. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, patiently waiting for things to happen, being nice, being gentle, um, forbearing, straining, hold up one another. Um, so hold them up in love. That's what they're saying. In your patience. All right? In your patience, you're doing that. Okay, let's jump to another scripture, which is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 9 and 7 and 9. So like it. The book of Psalms, verse 37 and 7. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fear not thyself because of him who proposeth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So like who prospereth. Let me read that again. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. You get that? Rest in the Lord. Wait patiently for him. Stick in the things of the Lord. Stick in the school. Stick in the classes. Stick in the word. Ask the questions. Stay with the truth. Rest in the Lord. Be comfortable in the Lord. Make your stay in the Lord. Make your stay in the truth. And wait patiently. Wait patiently for him. Right? Wait patiently. No man know the day, the time, nor the hour, but the Son of Man cometh. Even the Father in heaven knows only. Okay, so fret not thyself because of him who prospered in his way. You see some people around you that seem to be doing well. They prospering. But then, a lot of times, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass, a lot of times these people, when look at they prospering, but they are doing wickedness to the wickedness is coming to pass. And so try not to be looking at people and thinking about what they have, how they got it, because maybe what they did to get it, you're not prepared to do it. Okay? All right, so now it's the patient part of the scripture I wanted to touch on. And for the next few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about how do you actually develop. How do you? What kind of help is there for you with patience? And this is the good thing about UPK. Now, of course, we have to. Us here in the Bahamas, we are very tiny. We need to develop rapidly so that we could build the support that we need. We could build the support we need. We could build the support systems. But the support systems come from the brothers and the sisters. That's where the support comes from. If you feeling down and depressed and distressed, and you you don't know what's how things are going, you need the brotherhood to strengthen you. I did a couple of classes on the brotherhood, because these are the these are the people who's going to help you to make it through some of those times when you need assistance, when you need to talk to someone. Because in the truth, we understand a lot of the same things. We learn a lot of the same things. So what happens is, you come and you have difficulties and issues, you call those who is nearest and dearest to you, because we understand and learn a lot of the same things and come to accept them. And that's where your strength would be. That's where you would learn how to develop more strength. So I'm just folding it, so I can deal with this before I come on. So what I want to do is just touch on a couple of scriptures before we actually close out. Let's see if I can find some of the ones that I really want. You know, in this, what we push is the brotherhood above everything. The brotherhood must be above everything. You cannot say you could see a man and you don't love him, but you could say you love a God that you've never seen. You know, we have a problem with that. Now, you be talking with your own people, mind you. That's what we're talking about. We ain't talking about the heathens. We're talking about all these other nationalities around. We're talking about your brother. Okay? So, if you go to the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. If you look at it from that perspective, if you look at it like in the truth, we come in as babes and we need help. We come in hardly knowing anything. Because what we knew coming out of the Christian church is nothing. That's what it is. We come in knowing not anything. Right? So when we come in here, we need to be spoon-fed. Now, yeah, some of us come in at late ages in our life. But the truth is, if you've been in the truth for 5 years, you're only 5 years old. So like it. So you still only a baby in the truth. So the truth is, you just starting to use your hand to feed yourself. But you're still a baby and you need direction. So the book of 1 John, chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen? This brotherhood thing, we push this hard. We say you have to love your brother. Yeah, you have to love your brother. How could you love God who you've not seen? You've heard about him. You believe God exists. And God is telling you should love your brother. And you don't? So you don't love God. That's what it's saying. Because God is the one who tells you love your brother. And if you don't love your brother, you don't love God, sister, brother. You don't love God. All right? If you're not doing the commandments, you don't love God. Not keeping them, you don't love God. No, you don't. What is the love of God? That you keep his commandments. That's it. And if you're not doing, and what are his commandments? You know, it's 613 thereabout. All do not apply to any individual themselves. Because there are laws just for farmers, there are laws just for women. Okay? And if you're not a farmer, those laws do not apply to you. If you're a woman, those laws don't apply to men. You see. So all those 613 or so, they don't apply. So you can't say, oh, I do 613. No, you cannot do 613. You could do the ones that applies to you. That's what you could do. And if you do that, then you start to gain strength in the whole war. And this commandment, this is the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. Remember who your brother is. It's not the heathen down the street, the Chinese, the Japanese, and all. No, it's not another Negro in the corner what you don't like. It's the same Negro in the corner. You like the Edomites. You don't love your brother, but the Lord say you have to love your brother. Okay? But you don't love him because you love the other people. Okay, let's jump down. We can do one or two more scriptures before we close out. Let's see. Because the brotherhood is the thing for you to be patient. For you to let patience work, you're gonna have to have some kind of backup plan. Because when your mind starts to run away with you, you will need to try and hold that and bring that under subjection. And sometimes you're not able to do it by yourself. So sometimes you need help. You need help in trying to control yourself. See that scripture. Let's read the last one, I think. 13. And 13. Let's see. Yeah, so find the same type of scripture. Okay, so I'll read this. I'll read John chapter 13. John chapter 13, verse 34. John 13 and 34. Again, you come in the truth and they struggle with things. But we should be forming a community of support, forming a community of help, forming a community of self-sufficiency, basically. Yeah, we could do it. We could help each other to the point that we could live a slightly better life just by the brotherhood. That's it. Don't need to be nothing big and fancy. This is the book of John, chapter 13, verse 34. A new commandment give I unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one for another. So this is a way for us to see that, for others to see that we love God, we have love one for another. All right. And so this is how all men, this is how the Israelites should be, taking this as a commandment, loving one another. Okay, we'll do one more scripture, and then we look. So we can go to the book of Psalms. Let's see if this one. The book of Psalms. Let's see. Before I call it out to you, that's the one I want. Let's see. Okay. Hey, I'll do stuff on the close. Okay, so it's lucky for that. Okay, so in the book of Psalm, chapter 133, and we read the first verse. Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. We're talking about being patient. Most of the time, you don't have the patience because you don't have the kind of support around you insisting that you think about being patient. And if the brothers and sisters are around you, you will learn more patience. So the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 1. This is a song of David. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know, if you think about that kind of unity, the pure unity where no bias, no hate, none of these emotions are running wild. If you have an issue with a brother, you deal with it, you get it out, and you move on. No issues. Nobody's offending anybody else. Patience will get you there. The brotherhood will keep you there. So with that, I'm going to clip it right about there. I don't know if there's any questions, but patience is one of the things we need to strive for, and the brotherhood should help us. Whenever we feel a little weary and well-doing, we find the brothers and talk to them. Now we have to build up our own strength here, but then for the time being, we have to call overseas to get our counsel and get our help. You know, we talk as much as we can here to strengthen each other, but if need be, we reach off the island and talk to some of the other people in the school to get strengthened up. Any questions? Okay, so there's no questions. Then I'll go to the security announcements. We at the ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the person. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, you can find this in Matthew and Salakia, in Numbers 18:21, and Malachi 8, Salakia, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. In its tenth in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced Ma'ashura. 10% of every penny of any increase that the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. The priest fund is not mandatory. Any amount you like to give, you can give in the priest fund. The Remind Akim and Akwatim with a social media check, isubk.com, isubk.org for material and information. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you have to start wearing all black, which include black boots, black hat, shalakia, black boots, black shirt, black pants, and headband or scarf. And with that, I say to the brothers, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Brakatah, to the brothers, and to the sister, they say, Yahweh Shema Alatam Bahashem Yahushai, and the sister.
Yahweh Shema Alatham by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
And with that, Shalom, sis. Class dismissed.
Shalom.